Hello, everybody. It is Coach Steven with Woolery Strength Systems. Today, we are going to be talking about our not dynamic effort. I don't know why it says that. Max effort upper body day today on here on September 5th, 2025. So, started out with some banded pull aparts, banded overhead tricep extensions, and some split stance rotational med ball throws. It's kind of a mouthful. Those were just kind of like a warm up slash activation type of superset tricep kind of thing. Just trying to get warmed up a little bit. Like I said, raise the body temperature and whatnot. Then we got into some bench press versus bands, just a straight bar bench press versus bands, which is the first time we've done that in quite a while. I guess we did five three board the other day with the straight bar, but anyway, moving forward, I was pretty happy with this overall. We'll gotta go through those sets and things like that here pretty soon. Then going through the rest of the lift, we did dumbbell incline bench. So similar to what we had done for the past 3 weeks, but instead of just regular flat bench, we are doing that the incline bench with the 3-second eccentric. Then we went into some single arm dumbbell rows. Did these at 80 pounds. Again, you'll see this pretty soon. Probably a little heavy on there, but I'm also still very bodybuilding technique when I'm training. I got yelled at today for that, so we'll kind of see how that goes. But then we did dumbbell collie press, which was the first time doing that. That was an interesting movement. Felt really good on the shoulders, honestly. It was burning quite a lot. Then we did some barbell curls, way too heavy, but why not? And then we did some banded side bench, which actually felt surprisingly pretty good. So anyway, let's go ahead and click this onto full screen and get into our lift. So again, just going to go through some band pull aparts, nothing crazy. Keep this pretty quick. We've all seen some band pull aparts. Overhead tricep extensions. Of course, I'm yapping. There we go. Again, last week, Tuesday, I actually had gone with the orange band for overhead tricep extensions for that upper body warm up. However, today, right now, my triceps are still sort of the touch from, I'm assuming, which was the half tries, along with the 8 sets of relatively closer grip, at least what I'm used to on that bench press or on the Yukon bar. And I also did a few extra sets prior to that because if you all seen the video, I did mess up the band tension, so I ended up doing a few extra sets. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and play these split stance med ball throws. Skip this through a little bit. Again, I'm trying to kind of rip down to my side here and explode forward. Kind of using a full body movement type it here, trying to explode through that back leg just a little bit. Now the left side looks a lot more unathletic there, but still, again, just trying to do something a little bit more on the powerful side with these. The right side did feel pretty good, and honestly, facing the wall, I felt a lot better at, and I feel like we did these just the other day, so I might need to switch that up a little bit. However, overall, still felt really good, and I actually enjoyed these this today. Now, bench press versus bands. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I accidentally deleted the first set that I did at 95, but it was 95. Not going to really too worry about recording that or watching that one, but we'll go ahead and get into a plate. And I also missed recording the 170, which again, I hit 3 more sets, so we don't really miss too much there. Here's TD. Him and I kind of worked together on on his jumps. I kind of just followed him until I fell off. Skip forward a little bit more. And we can see here, again, maybe not the perfect angle to watch completely, but good. Good. Yeah, speeds were really good today on most of this stuff until obviously it got a little bit heavier and it slowed down some. I ended up getting some spotting pretty early on, mostly because it was a little awkward on the unrack. There was that. I think that was 185 right there. Actually, go ahead and watch that back real quick. Got the unrack from Coach Arnie. Slow down a little bit off the chest. Gonna go one more time and see if I can see anything. Let me go in slow motion, see if I see any breakdown. Speed. Everything looked pretty solid to me. It looks like I kind of shifted one way a little bit. I think I need to kind of get my hips a little tighter and just overall tighten my body a little bit more. throughout these bench press sets. I learned that when I was at the S5 compound in Ohio, the Elite FTS compound, and I actually had a hip cramp from benching correctly, which was interesting for sure. This was a 200 set, the one right before my actual 1 rep max. Go ahead and watch this. Let me slow this down once again, or let's watch it in full speed once. Butt did not quite come off, so I'm okay with that. I'm actually not 100% sure if my butt came off the bench on my final set, which we'll actually have to see that. We're gonna watch this one in slow. Again, definitely did not pause on the chest by any means. Was pretty quick on the reversal. Slight bounce on the chest, just maybe. We were just trying to move some weight, though. It was pretty good. Very, very fun session today. We were all laughing and kind of kicking it pretty well. Okay, so getting tight here, getting set up. Again, we'll watch it in full speed first, just to kind of show the grind. Yeah, Bud did not leave the bench, thankfully. I will say, though, my mid to low back, got a little excited there, definitely got very tight after that, like almost cramped. And I think I'm taking it as a good thing. Maybe some people will not, but I've always struggled with like actually getting tight on my bench press and really set. And I think that was a good sign that I was at least maybe doing something right. It could be bad. Someone let me know in the comments below what you think, but we'll go ahead and slow this down a little bit to see if we see any breakdown. Little wobbly there, but I never really flare my elbows or anything like that. So I feel like that was a pretty solid lift. I was very happy with the 215, honestly. And then we have give or take 20-ish pounds maybe at the top. I think we kind of just deciphered at the top on each side. So that's putting me at 255 at the top. So again, very, very happy with that. Yeah, not too much to say on that. So here is our incline bench. So I recorded the first set, and as you can see, I did slowly drop off by 2 and then 4 reps. So pretty high percentage drop off. However, I'm going to kind of just use this 50 pounds until I can hit 15, 15, 15, and then we'll kind of go up from there. Hopefully I can do it within these next 3 weeks. I have a pretty good feeling I'll be able to, but we're not going to watch all of these. We'll just kind of skip towards the end to where I probably start to fatigue, where the reps might slow down. 1, 2, 3. Now, I did get complimented on my range of motion today that I'm going really far down, just extreme shoulder extension there. 3, good. Yeah, and I had a very good chest pump from this, I will say. And that the eccentrics could be a big part of that, as well as just that full range of motion, getting a nice stretch through the full ROM there. And then we did some single arm dumbbell rows. Cameron and I were kind of side by side for most of our sets. We'll go ahead and get to the start here. Again, I got yelled at for using some of this technique here. I'm supposed to be more split stance and kind of a little bit more just pick up the weight, but there were some choice words more than that used towards me. But we got it done though. And then as you can see, I started to fatigue here. I'm counting this one. I feel like I got this one up pretty high, or at least high enough. I will say I've only recorded this first set here. There's a couple other ones that were maybe not quite high enough, but this one right here, I'm okay with. I kind of live by a rule for myself, at least. Others might not agree, but as long as I'm kind of getting this elbow to about 90 degrees, which it's pretty dang close. I like to kind of count that for my pulley movements, as long as it's not me just like flexing my bicep, of course, to get it to 90. As long as I'm getting that arm pulled back, I'm pretty happy with it most of the time. And the range of motion is something I also like. I've been very ingrained to get more range of motion in the eccentric portion for a long time. So for the past at least 2 years of my training. So that's something that is a little bit new to me. That again, I got kind of yelled at for today. Did not mean to hit it into full screen there. So the other side looked pretty similar. That left side actually was not moving quite as well as the right, but that's okay. Now, going into this collie press, I ended up turning all these into a little bit of a tri-set, but we'll just go over this collie press first. First time doing this, so what we're doing here, we have a band around our wrist that is trying to force us in, and we have to actively push out on the with our shoulders, and then we're pressing up overhead with the dumbbells. You can also do this with just the band. TD back over here has programmed these for a lot of his athletes, his female athletes, for the majority, where he's having them press up and overhead for like volleyball is one that he uses them with a lot. These actually started burning a lot more than I expected to for 15-pound dumbbells. I was very surprised, but with that band trying to pull you in, I think would be technically internal rotation. It's wanting you to. You have to kind of externally rotate there at the shoulder joint to keep that from happening. So anyway, going through to the next exercise, which was barbell curls. These are going to be some total body curls here towards the end. Trying to get out of the bodybuilding-esque type of training. But again, I'm clearly just going through, not super worried about the eccentric. And I kind of look like what the football players look like during their arm circuits. But you know what? I'm taking it. I had fun. Got a good bicep pump still. And I probably swing a couple of these reps. Just a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Yep. And that was about it, I think. I might go for one more. Yeah. Kind of just throwing it up there at that point. Again, I did go ahead and plan to go down to 70 next week to start. And then hopefully we can kind of hold on to some little more. As you can see, I kind of dropped down a little bit in weight there and still was not able to get the same amount of reps. So fatigue definitely set in, a little high on the curls, but that's okay. A little bit of ego lifting here and there is not always a problem. And then here was a set of those banded side bends. And these actually felt really, really good. I had to kind of find my tension on the band that I wanted, that actually felt like it was doing pretty good. And here was really good. And then I'm really trying to focus on kind of stretching out that other side, and then where my hand is right here, thinking about pulling through this opposite side oblique. And yeah, that's kind of most of the workout. I did 20 reps of these. We're not going to watch all 20. However, we'll go ahead and go over the metrics for the day. We had a level 3 of difficulty. The exercises today were not that difficult, to be honest. Rows felt heavy, to be honest, but 1RM, like, yes, they're hard, but I don't feel like they are super duper difficult per se. Like, that's just me though. I don't know how to really describe how I feel with the 1RMs, but or the max effort days in general. Obviously, yes, they are hard. Lifting heavy is hard. However, like, the actual challenge of it is just like you either get it or you don't, and that's about it. Don't know why. There we go. Sorry about that. And then duration about 75 minutes, kind of on average. Again, we were chatting a little bit more than we have been in the past sometimes. And then again, fatigue, I think, have been actually really good lately. So difficulty's been about average at 3 for the most part. Duration stays pretty similar, just above 60 minutes. And the fatigue has been slowly dropping down at a couple spikes here and there. But honestly, I'm very, very happy with where I'm sitting at right now with nutrition from Voodoo Power, and then my training. Again, we're all just with the UCM staff, strength staff. Everything's been feeling really, really good, and I'm happy, and I'm excited to continue. This was week 4 of this, so we have about 5 weeks left, and then I'll have to slowly start kind of deciding where I want to go with my programming next. That's Voodoo Power. Shout out to him. If he wants to start programming for me, I'm more than happy with that, to follow his program out, what he does for his athletes, at least for a few weeks or so, and then kind of get maybe into my own kind of programming. Haven't fully decided. However, anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. I like doing them. I get a little bit of practice with watching not only the movements and exercise in general, but also I get a little bit better at doing these client feedback videos, which I think helps myself and possibly my clients eventually, when I can see different things which I can see during my own training. But anyway, that's all I have today. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.